If you don't wake up with a war in your mind and a fire in your gut, someone else will own the life you were supposed to live. And they'll thank you for being too lazy to take it. You're not poor because of bad luck. You're poor because you were trained to be poor. Since birth, they told you what to think, how to act, who to obey. And none of that was designed to make you rich. The system isn't broken. It works exactly how it was built. It turns lions into sheep. It convinces powerful men to beg for salaries. You wake up when they tell you, you move when they command, and you spend your entire life building someone else's dream, funding someone else's empire, praying for promotions while they print money in their sleep. That's the truth they never teach you in school, because if they did, you'd stop obeying. Every time you hear someone say money isn't everything, understand this. That's poverty defense. That's the lie of someone who gave up. The truth is, money buys freedom. It buys time. It buys health, safety, legacy. It's not about the Lambos or private jets. It's about control. It's about not needing to explain yourself to anyone. You think the rich have different DNA? No. They have different standards. They don't chase weekends. They build systems. They don't cry about the cost of living. They create leverage. If you're broke, it's because you've been consuming your entire life, never producing. Scrolling, watching, clicking, waiting. Meanwhile, the producers, the ones who build apps, design brands, launch courses, flip crypto, flip ideas, they're the ones buying the freedom you'll never taste unless you switch sides. But here's what they don't want you to know. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need investors. You don't need a degree. All you need is to wake up and decide that you refuse to be average. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It rewards those who figure it out. Every dollar you make is proof that you've added value. Every client, every sale, every win. It all starts when you say, I will never be normal again. And that's the moment your life changes. Entrepreneurship isn't for the weak. It's not for the comfortable. It's for the man who looks at his empty bank account and feels rage, not defeat. It's for the man who sees 3 a.m. not as sleep time, but as work time. The man who refuses to trade hours for pennies. The man who studies while others sleep. Who builds while others break, who reinvests while others waste. Wealth is not made by chance, made by men who take extreme ownership of their reality and refuse to comply. I don't care about money, then you don't care about your family, your health, or your options. Because without money, your opinions are ignored, your voice is small, and your life is dictated by people who do care about money. That's the cold truth. Money is not the enemy, it's the weapon. And you can either learn to wield it or stay a victim to those who already do. Wealth creation starts with the mind. Before you earn your first dollar, you must destroy every mental limit they gave you. Every time you say, I can't, someone else is saying, I will. And that's the man who's going to dominate you. Success has never been about intelligence. It's about aggression, persistence, obsession. You don't try your way into wealth. You outwork, outlearn, and outstrategize every man in the room. You do what others won't so you can live how others can't. And don't think it happens overnight. You're gonna fail, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna get scammed, doubted, ridiculed. Good, that's the cost of entry. That's the tuition you pay for real success. The difference is when most quit, real entrepreneurs reload. They rebuild, they evolve. Pain is part of the process. Every setback is an invoice for your future strength. If you want to stay poor, avoid pain. But if you want wealth, you must embrace the fire. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start. Sell something, learn a skill, build a brand, join a tribe of killers. Find mentors who breathe this life daily. You'll fail faster, you'll grow faster. This is exactly why I built Hustlers University in the real world. Because the modern school system teaches compliance, not cash flow. They give you theories, I give you tools. You learn how to earn, not just exist. Understand this now, nobody is coming to save you. There's no bailout for the average man. But you don't need a savior, you need a strategy. Wealth is built by killers who move silently, network globally, and build relentlessly. The matrix won't like you once you wake up. It will try to pull you back in. It'll use comfort, distraction, addiction. But if you stay focused, if you stay hungry, if you stay obsessed, you'll reach a point where you no longer chase money. I remember sitting in a cold apartment once, lights off, unpaid bills on the table, staring at my own reflection in a cracked screen. Not broke because I was dumb, not stuck because I was lazy. I was broke because I believed the lie that if I followed the system, stayed quiet, worked hard, it would all work out. It didn't. And one day it hit me like a freight train. Nothing changes unless you go to war with mediocrity. That was the moment I became dangerous. I wasn't raised by billionaires. I don't have trust funds or handouts. I built everything from information, from speed, from risk. I failed, I lost, I got betrayed, I got backstabbed, but every time I fell, I got sharper. That's the price, and I paid it in full. I remember teaching myself how money actually moves. I studied commerce. I studied traffic. I studied attention. I studied conversion. While everyone else was numbing their brain with Netflix and junk, I was learning how to turn clicks into cash, how to make money while I sleep, how to scale from 0 to millions using only a laptop and a savage work ethic. There was a moment burned into my memory like fire when I made my first $10,000, 0 cents in a single day. Not through begging, not through employment, through pure value. I sold something the market wanted, and I sold it better than anyone else. That was when I understood. You don't get rich by working harder, you get rich by working smarter, faster, and for yourself. That $10, 0 cents wasn't money, it was proof that the game was real, that wealth creation is a formula, not a fantasy. I started documenting everything. Every mistake, every success, every loophole I cracked open in the digital system. I realized the internet was the biggest cheat code in human history. While others used it for entertainment, I turned it into a war machine. You can launch empires from your phone. You can flip information into income, skills into systems, hustle into legacy. But only if you understand the rules. And most men don't. They chase trends, they chase hype, they chase comfort, and they stay broke. Let me tell you something about entrepreneurship. They don't teach you what it really is. It's not logos and laptops and quotes on walls. It's nights alone, planning your next product while the rest of the world sleeps. It's risking your last dollar on a launch that might fail. It's ignoring doubt from people who never dared to try. It's learning, adjusting, adapting every single day. And when it works, when your systems start printing income while you eat, train, or sleep, it feels like unlocking a superpower. There was a time I ran 5 businesses from 5 countries at once. Different time zones, different teams, different markets. People said it couldn't be done. They said it would collapse. I laughed. You don't scale by being realistic, you scale by being relentless. That's what they don't teach you in business school. They teach balance sheets in theory. I teach warfare, tactical attention, strategic delegation, psychological dominance. That's how empires are built, not by talking, by executing. I watched men smarter than me stay broke because they waited too long to act. I watched guys with perfect plans fail because they were scared to launch. Perfection is the enemy of money. If you wait for the stars to align, you'll die poor. I've launched businesses from hotel rooms, from airports, from cars. The execution was never perfect, but it was fast, it was consistent, and it was fearless. That's why I win. One of my earliest lessons was this: you can't do it alone. You need a circle. You need killers around you, wolves, not sheep. Men who aren't distracted by drama, by gossip, by nonsense. Men who build, who solve, who dominate. That's what I created with The Real World. A digital army of entrepreneurs, traders, marketers, coders, deal makers. No fluff, no theory, just results. Because when you're in the right tribe, you don't rise alone. You rise with force. But here's the real secret. Entrepreneurship isn't about money. It's about power. Power over your time, your choices, your environment. I don't chase wealth. I use wealth to carve out my own version of reality. If I want to fly to Dubai tonight, I go. If I want to hire 10 staff tomorrow, I do. If I want to disappear for a month, no one notices because the systems keep working. That's not luxury, that's freedom. So when people ask me, how do I start? I tell them, stop asking for permission. Pick a skill, pick a problem, learn faster than everyone else, start small, move fast, scale hard. Stay broke for a year if you must, but build something you own. And never let anyone tell you it can't be done. Because I've done it, because thousands in my network have done it. Because the moment you stop waiting to be chosen is the moment you become undeniable. Every day you wait is a day the system sinks its claws deeper into your life. The matrix doesn't come for you with chains, it comes with comfort. That slow creeping poison of routine, the 9 to 5, the stable paycheck, the rented apartment, the weekend beers to forget you're wasting your potential. It feels safe, but it's not safety, it's sedation. The modern prison doesn't have bars, it has subscriptions and direct deposits. Do you know why most people never get rich? Not because they're incapable, because they've been taught to fear freedom. They fear risk. They fear failure. But here's the truth. They should fear staying the same. They should fear looking in the mirror at 50, realizing they spent their prime years building someone else's dream, taking orders, following rules, and asking for permission to live life on their own terms. That is the real nightmare. Every second you hesitate, someone else is taking your future. That product you thought of launched by someone hungrier. That business idea you shelved, already online, making money while you sleep. That opportunity you passed on because it felt risky, gone. Swallowed by a man who understood that waiting is the most expensive decision you'll ever make. Time is the one currency you can't refill, and most men are broke in time long before they're broke in money. I've seen men with genius inside them waste decades hoping for luck. Hope is for the weak. Strategies for the winners. You can hope your boss gives you a raise, or you can build a system that prints cash while your boss is stuck in traffic. You can hope the economy turns around, or you can position yourself to profit no matter what. The man who plays defense all his life is still at risk. He just never gets the reward. And the saddest part, deep down he knows it. You think you're gonna get a second shot? You think life pauses while you figure things out? It doesn't. While you think about it, your body's aging, your chances are shrinking, your window is closing. Indecision is the silent killer of destiny. You're not unlucky, you're undisciplined. You're not stuck, you're stalling. And deep down, you know if you died today, you'd regret not starting. You'd regret not taking the shot when you had energy, time, and fire in your blood. There's a reason urgency separates winners from spectators. Every empire you admire was built by men who moved when others doubted. They didn't wait to be qualified. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They didn't let fear dictate the pace. They acted now because they knew hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. And the cruel twist? The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. You're rot in place. Paralysis becomes identity. I meet men all the time who say, one day I'll start. That's the language of slaves. One day becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. Next year becomes never. And they stay stuck scrolling through life, watching others rise. The man who watches another man succeed without action is already spiritually dead. You weren't born to be a spectator. You weren't born to obey. You were born to conquer, to create, to dominate. Do you think anyone is coming to rescue you? No one's coming, not your government, not your friends, not your boss. You are alone in this war. But that's the good news, because once you accept that, you become unbreakable. The man who stops expecting a handout is the man who builds an empire with his bare hands. You don't need more time, you need more action. You don't need motivation, you need a mirror. Ask yourself one question. Am I building my legacy or am I building someone else's? You want financial freedom? It's not in the lottery. It's not in comfort. It's in movement, execution, calculated risk. You build it brick by brick, deal by deal, strategy by strategy. You become the man who never stops learning, never stops launching, never stops betting on himself. Every time you hesitate, remember this. Someone dumber than you is already rich because he had the balls to start. What's your excuse? I'll leave you with this. There will come a time when you look back and ask, why didn't I start when I had the fire? And by then, the fire might be gone. The fire fades when it's ignored. Feed it, chase it, use it. Because the man who takes action when others freeze is the man who bends the world to his will. Not because he's lucky, not because he's special, but because he refused to die average. You will never build an empire if you're afraid to be disliked. If you're scared of judgment, stay broke, stay quiet, stay forgotten. The road to wealth isn't lined with applause, it's lined with resistance, doubt, mockery, and pain. And that's why most men never take it. They'd rather be accepted by the crowd than rise above it. But listen, rich men aren't liked, they're respected. And if you're still chasing validation, you're not ready for war. Business is war. Entrepreneurship is war. Wealth is won on the battlefield of bold decisions, and no one claps for the soldier until he returns covered in scars. When I was broke, nobody cared what I had to say, but the second I won, the world listened. That's the game. No one values your opinion until you win loud enough to silence their doubt. So if you're still explaining yourself to people who've done nothing, stop. Build in silence, strike with precision, and let results become your language. Talk is cheap in this world. Execution is the only dialect money understands. And if you think you're going to tiptoe your way to millions, wake up. You can't build a kingdom with a coward spine. You need audacity. You need obsession. You need to wake up with fire in your lungs and rage in your gut, because you're not where you want to be yet. Most men waste their prime years being passive spectators in their own lives. That ends now. Because ambition is worthless without aggression. You don't climb the mountain with kind thoughts. You claw your way to the top because the bottom is full of men pretending they'll rise someday. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another affirmation. You need to move. You need to start. You need to bleed for your future. Stop romanticizing success like it's some distant fairy tale. It's dirt, it's chaos, it's betrayal, setback, sacrifice, and obsession. But it's yours if you decide it is. Entrepreneurship is not a path. It's a war zone you charge into alone. You either dominate or get eaten alive by a world that does not care about excuses. I wasn't born into wealth. I built it from fire and fury. Every dollar I have came from moments most people wouldn't survive. Sleepless nights, risking everything, losing, restarting, scaling, teaching, evolving. And through all of it, I learned money doesn't come to the man who wants it. It comes to the man who becomes the weapon capable of attracting it. And if you're still looking for motivation, you've already lost. The man who waits to feel ready will always kneel to the one who moves without it. The real world? It isn't some cozy simulation. It's brutal. It rewards hunger, it punishes hesitation, and it never, ever slows down for the weak. So you better decide right now. Are you here to survive or dominate? Are you going to watch other men take what should have been yours? Or are you finally going to bite down, lock in, and become the beast this world fears? Your potential means nothing without execution. Your talent is worthless without tenacity. And your ideas will rot in the graveyard of maybe, unless you act with ruthless conviction. Let me be crystal clear. There is no path to wealth that doesn't involve discomfort. You'll lose friends, you'll be misunderstood, you'll feel insane some days, but the reward is legacy. The reward is control. The reward is standing on top of the life you built with nothing but your mind, your grit, and your refusal to quit. You're not chasing money. You're chasing power over your time. And if that doesn't light a fire under your soul, then you're not hungry enough to eat at the table of kings. The man you admire, he isn't more capable than you. He's just more committed. He didn't wait. He didn't doubt. He didn't retreat. He advanced every single day. Built skills, built networks, built discipline. And now while you scroll through reels and dream of change, he's moving money globally and laughing while the system bleeds out. You either become the player or remain the pawn. There is no middle class of the future, only the owners and the owned. Stop thinking small. Stop tolerating mediocrity. Stop worshiping comfort. Start building. Start risking. Start demanding more from yourself than society ever did. Because if you don't take control of your life, someone else will, and they'll pay you just enough to forget you gave them everything. That is the ultimate betrayal, when a man sells his freedom for a stable paycheck and smiles through the cave. The path is there. The knowledge exists. The blueprint is real. The only missing variable is your action. God gave you the body, the brain, the breath. What you do with it is the only thing that determines whether you rise or decay. So today, decide. Become the creator, the leader, the force of nature that doesn't flinch when the world doubts. Because if you don't become that man, you'll die. It's just another name in a database. Forgotten, unheard, unlived. You want freedom? You want wealth? Then earn it with your soul. Bleed for it. Burn for it. Rise for it, because no one's handing it to you. And if you wait too long, you'll become one of the millions of men who talk about what they could have been instead of living as who they were born to be. And this is the moment where you decide who the hell you actually are, not who your parents think you are, not who your broke friends laugh about, not the version you show online, the real you, the raw, uncut man beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the life you've tolerated instead of dominated. One decision can rewrite your entire destiny, but only if you commit with such intensity that the universe itself has no choice but to obey. That's the kind of decision I'm talking about. Ruthless, permanent, irrevocable. The type of choice that doesn't whisper change, it screams it. You've been given the map. Now move. You've listened long enough, you've consumed more content than your ancestors could have dreamed of, and you're still in the same place. Why? Because knowledge without execution is just masturbation. It feels productive, but creates nothing. Success isn't a secret, it's a discipline. And discipline is doing what must be done long after the motivation has died. So you want wealth? Good. Earn it, stack the skills, build the system, wake up when it's hard, keep moving when it's hell. That's where champions are made. When the rest of the world hits snooze and you go to war with your excuses. No more waiting for the stars to align. No more hoping for lucky breaks. No more hiding behind preparation. Imperfect action beats perfect delay every single time. And the truth is, you know exactly what you need to do. You're just afraid to admit it. You're scared of the pain, scared of the judgment, scared of what happens if you give it everything and still fail. But let me make this brutally clear. The real failure is never even trying. But the real regret is realizing years later that you were the one obstacle you never conquered. Look around. The game has changed. The system you were taught to trust is bleeding out. Jobs are fragile, economies are fake, your degree won't save you, security is a lie sold by the comfortable to the complacent. The real kings of this world aren't playing defense, they're on the offense. Every single day, stacking streams of income, buying freedom, creating legacies, and they're doing it right now while most of the world still sleeps through their alarm, both literally and mentally. Wealth creation is no longer optional, it's survival. If you don't build your own brand, someone else will pay you to build theirs. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will leash your hours until you die. If you don't become obsessed with creating value, this world will discard you like a glitch in the system. That's the level of urgency we're talking about. The market doesn't care about your story. It rewards the man who moves. That's why I say stop trying, becoming the guy who acts, becoming the guy who learns, adapts, scales, and dominates. Because that's the man who wins in this new world. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you've failed. I don't care if no one believes in you right now. None of that matters. What matters is this. You are one focused year away from a completely different life. 1 year of tunnel vision, 1 year of cutting distractions, eliminating weakness, building with brutal intention. But you won't get that year by accident. You have to create it with blood and fire. And once you do, you will look back at the man you used to be and feel disgusted you ever accepted so little. Stop being passive. Stop waiting for a savior. Stop acting like the victim in your own movie. You are the hero, the villain, the director, and the damn producer of this life. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to make sure you show up. No one's handing you millions because you had potential. Potential is worthless without pain, without pressure, without the fire that turns a dream into a dynasty. You think those billionaires you see just stumbled into wealth? No, they bled for it. They took risks while you watched. They made moves while you made excuses. So here it is, your line in the sand. The world is divided into men who create and men who consume, into owners and employees, into kings and pawns. And right now, you're choosing which one you'll be. The time you waste will be the chains that bind you. So either burn those chains today or carry them for the rest of your life. The choice is yours. Just know this, every second you hesitate, someone else is building, scaling, investing, winning. And they're doing it without you. The war won't wait, the money won't wait, your legacy won't wait, so why the hell are you? Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. The tools are here. The system is visible. The path is paved in fire, but it's walkable if you're a man of will. Stop consuming and start producing. Stop learning and start building. Stop surviving and start conquering. You don't need motivation, you need momentum. And once you get moving, never stop. Because this isn't about wealth anymore. It's about who you're willing to become to earn it. And when it's all said and done, you'll either look back on this moment as the day you ignited or the day you surrendered. Remember this forever. No one is coming to save you, and that is your greatest advantage. You are the solution, you are the answer, you are the fire. Now move.